Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice for the week of January 19th, 2023. The current challenge is Rebirth Jessica Cruz, who I always want to call Jessica Cruz Green Lantern. It's a 1 week repeat. Required characters are Flash, Sinestro, and Superman, who are available as Bronze, and Gold, which is not great. Gold is a little bit harder to get for newer players, but at least they're all available in the store. Her passive is Lantern's Might. Each Green Lantern on her team extends her special attack 2 by 1 hit and adds combat effects. Her combo ender has a chance for Kilowog to put the opponent in stasis with his ring. Her attack is 1325, and so is her health, 1325. She was last available March 24th, 2022. And we talked about her earlier this week during the Q&A, and she is every bit as good as she looks. She is an excellent basic damage dealer with the higher stats of the late game challenge characters, with a bunch of extra hits on her combo ender, making her a great card for gears that have a combo ender effect, like Power Drain with Razzle Glow Scimitar or Gauntlets of Azrael, where each combo ender hit gets the effect. And if you really want to break down what she's got. So her light combo, like everybody else, does 2%, 2%, 2% of her attack stat. And if she gets the combo ender, other characters normally will get 3%. She gets that 3%, and then she gets 5 more hits that are 3, 4, 4, 4, and 4%. So her light combo, which most other people get 9% of their attack stat, hers, if she gets the combo ender, is 28%. So 3 times, more than 3 times what it should. Her heavy combo actually has a combo ender. So instead of being 4, 4, and 4%, she gets an extra hit that's worth an extra 4%. So she gets 16% from a heavy combo instead of 12%. So here's the thing. It's not just that she does more damage. There are 5 extra hits. So normally she would get 4 with the combo ender on the tap combo. Instead, she gets 9 with 5 extra hits. So that more than doubles her power generation from a tap combo that completes with the power or with the combo ender. And even her heavy combo is better than expected, but it's just not as spectacular as her tap combo. And I think it's less than half a chance. I'm guessing it's about a 30% chance of stun on her combo ender. It means that she can be maybe not the most effective, but she can get some benefit from using Cloak of Destiny or Necron Scythe. And even if you don't put her on a team of Green Lanterns, right, and you give up that part of her passive that gives more special 2 hits, she's still really good, which is what you're seeing in the current footage with Hawkgirl and Red Lantern Hal Jordan. I always want to say I get the 2 Red Lanterns mixed up. So she is great as a basic damage dealer because of her combo ender extra hits, and it's that part of her is good enough or great enough that it's worth giving up on the special 2 part of her passive, even when the team is set up for her to be a special 2 specialist. So in this current team, Hawkgirl lets you tag everybody faster in and out, and Red Lantern Hal Jordan, with his ability to strip all the gears off the opponent from the start without needing Tantu Totem or Master's Death Cart or tagging in and out, he can drop in immediately and strip all the gears. That her basic attacks make it more than worth the trade-off. And we're really, most of the time, not even leveraging the potential stun. So she would be good even if she had no passive at all. And I think part of the reason why I want to keep on wanting to call her Jessica Cruz Green Lantern is I think when she was introduced, that was her name, and it was only later that they changed her to the Rebirth universe. And yeah, so that's why I end up calling her the wrong thing. So she's Rebirth, and in that universe, there's a few other Rebirth characters, so it can be very tempting to make her role that of the basic damage dealer on Rebirth team, just because having a basic damage dealer as a backup is important. It may be not necessary, but still important. But the problem is Jessica Cruz is just too good to be a support player on any team. I guess I should say it explicitly. Kilowog putting the opponent in stasis works just like a stun. And the problem with a Rebirth team, and it's a funny one, is that there's really not very much synergy in that. The only person that Rebirth helps is Wally West to increase the likelihood that he will dodge or evade specials. So it makes a lot more sense to put Jessica Cruz on a Green Lantern team, even if that isn't her universe, because you're not getting a lot of benefit from stacking a team with Rebirth characters that don't have a lot of synergy. So it's really that Jessica Cruz is that good a character that, like you're looking at here, you're really seeing her in a no universe team. Like, it doesn't really matter where any of them come from. We're just using the team players because of what they inherently bring to any team. So if you're not putting Jessica Cruz on a Green Lantern team, if you're not putting her on a non-Green Lantern team, there are much better options than a Rebirth team. I think the most important consideration is, so these are your options, right? You can put her on a Green Lantern team, you can put her on a Rebirth team, or neither. And it really has to do with how good your other cards are, what their levels are, whether your cards are augmented. Because when they're not augmented, they're not that strong, there's not a lot of crit chance or crit damage. Each individual card is weaker and you have more trouble winning. So it becomes more important to make your overall team better with any kind of potential interactions that they have. And sometimes that means you're just putting a lot of strong cards together, like Rebirth, which are high stat, even if there isn't a huge amount of synergy, because that's what you've got. On the other hand, if your cards are mostly augmented for crit chance and crit damage, it makes more sense to spread out the best cards to make the largest number of different teams that can do well in multiplayer. And in a lot of cases, like if your Jessica Cruz Green Lantern is really good, that could mean putting her on a Green Lantern team, because there's so many Green Lantern cards, like, say, even a gold one like John Stewart Green Lantern, that have very low offensive potential, but the fact that they boost her special too is enough to put them as support on her team. So, and in a lot of ways, it's very much like the original strategy of getting to bonus battle 6, right? Use a team to get there as fast as you can. When you get there, they don't all necessarily have to be good, but once you get there, if you promote them enough, each member of that team as an individual gets stronger, so you can split them up into 3 different teams that can each handle bonus battle 6. So this is the 139th week of a repeating pattern that first appeared May 2020. We have had 3 complete runs of a 43-week cycle, plus this is the 10th week in the 4th cycle. If the pattern holds, next week should be Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. And despite it being a 43-week cycle, there actually are 66 challenge characters, which means we're missing 23 challenge characters that have not shown up from at least since May 2020. This week's multiplayer reward is Blackest Night Flash. His passive is Black Flash. And when resurrected, Blackest Night Flash returns with 100% health. Basic attacks against the Flash have a 10% chance to miss and leave the attacker open to counterattack. Instead of taking damage, all Blackest Night teammates gain health and power from enemy damage over times. His attack is 1500, his health is 1300. He was last available June 16th, 2022, and it's 107 weeks in a row of a consistent repeating pattern. That's 3 complete cycles of a 31 reward sequence, and 14th in the current 4th cycle. And unlike the challenge pack, nothing is missing from multiplayer rewards, and if the pattern holds, which it should, next week will be Ibis-Stick. So he's got very high base stats. They are good in a way because they are stacked actually more in the attack. He's got good fast basic attacks like all Flash skins. And there are 3 elements to his passive, each of which would be enough by itself for a gold card. And I guess depending on how you look at it, it could be 4 or maybe even 5. Because that last one, which we'll talk about later, you're gaining 2 different things. So the first part, resurrections. There are different ways that you can resurrect. So with the 4th World Gear set, you max out at 31% health. Necron Scythe, 65% health. Blackest Night Hawkgirl, 20% health. So you only get a portion with the right setup. So you've got 2 times 4th World Gear set, plus Necron Scythe, plus Blackest Night Hawkgirl as a teammate. He could resurrect fully 3 times. If you use all 3 options, you're getting an extra 184% of his health as a part of his health pool from his passive. It's not insignificant. It's almost 2 extra flashes. And the problem with that is that using up 3 gear slots to resurrect so many times will limit his offensive potential, because how long do you need him to live if he isn't doing lots of damage? But another example of a good teammate would be New 52 Wonder Woman. Even though she's not a Blackest Night teammate, it would be a great way to give him power and make up for that if you were going to make him really hardy with 3 revives. And potentially he's got actually other passive abilities that make him more dangerous against his opponents. So that whiffing of basic attacks. So this potentially actually could be considered 2 different passives, right? So 10% chance for basic attacks to miss. It's nothing new, but his passive is the first one that gives you a relatively large window to counterattack your opponent back when they whiff. The lower percentage of 10% keeps his ability from being too unbalancing. And in my mind, if he had no other abilities, this ability is so good that if you boosted it to, say, a 20% chance, that by itself would be a really satisfying passive for a gold character. So in a lot of ways, this is almost like 2 abilities, right? Because they whiff, and then they're paused where they're vulnerable and they're not blocking. And then the last ability, or the last 2 abilities, or maybe even 3, depending on how you break it down, right? So one ability is being immune to damage over time. That's not what he is, but for some characters, that's an actual full ability, right? So I think one of the Scorpions has immunity to fire. Arkham Knight Batman can pick a Wayne Tech boost, which makes him immune to damage over time as one of his 2 out of 6 abilities. So this part of the passive is sort of damage over time immunity, but instead of just being immune, he can get health from damage over time. Oh, and power. So to me, that's like 3 different things. If you look at the whiffing of basic attacks plus being able to counterattack, that's 2 more. And then the extra health and resurrections, I mean, depending on what kind of accounting considerations you get, that's almost 6 different things that he can do really well that other people can't. Great character to have. Absolutely, you should be trying to get a copy of him if you are reasonably capable of getting in the top 5%. In the store, Suicide Squad Harley Quinn bundle, $24.99, does not unlock your store. It's corroborating included next week, and this comes with 100,000 credits. Compare this to last week, the same price for the Jessica Cruz pack. Her pack did not come with credits. And we still have the Rebirth Jessica Cruz challenge pack for 2nd week. We talked about it last week. Not worth it. A little bit too expensive. And we've got 2, speaking of too expensive, we've got 2 big packs. The Ultimate Bundle Bringers of Justice. I'm not going to read through the description, I think, except to point out that it's $125. It's been that way for most of the last 2+ years. It was as cheap as $95 in 2020. And in 2019, it was as low as $66 and as high as $99. All prices Canadian, of course, because, Canada. Canada is important. Maybe pointing out just only that all the characters in the bundle are challenges except for Dawn of Justice Batman, who was previously a random drop and was not a challenge character. So if you're going to be paying money for characters, it makes a lot more sense that it's not somebody that you're going to be able to get easily otherwise. And I think challenge characters are that. Anything that's available in the store with power credits makes a pack less valuable, and this pack does not have that, taking any kind of value away from it. The other one is Ultimate Bundle of Villains and Monsters, same $125, same price spread where it's been that price for the last few years. You have to go back to 2020 when it was $95, in 2019 where it came out as $66 and peaked at $99. And so maybe the comment is that there's at least 3 characters that are multiplayer characters that makes it a slightly better value, and a bunch of other challenge characters. So it's a slightly better value because the characters are definitely as good and as interesting. And the tag team pack is there for 2nd week. We talked about it last time. Other packs that have stayed around, have not outstayed their welcome, but have been around for a long time, are the character bundle Batman Universe for 59 weeks, the Most Wanted pack for 66 weeks, and the celebration packs, the Nth Metal celebration packs, where Shazam and Joker have been around for 51 weeks, and Aquaman has been around for 53 weeks. The Phantom Zone is back for 2 weeks, and I guess this part of the announcement is probably more important than I would have realized at the beginning when we started, because there's still a lot of people who have messed up their game to the point where the Phantom Zone doesn't show up when it's supposed to, and they don't see the challenges when they're supposed to. Fight 62 still broken. It's double XP for the weekend. I'm not sure what the event is or the occasion is, but there you go. And last weekend's breakthrough for golds was Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, and Lobo. And this coming weekend is probably going to be Lex Luthor, Batman, and Doomsday. There's a link in the description to a Reddit thread from Devlin16 that goes over the complete breakthrough cycle. And yeah, so what we normally do is we go through the glitches in detail every time something significant changes, which did not happen this week. And if nothing changes, we still do a more detailed review once a month, the first week of every month. And most recently, that was our recap from January the 5th, 2023. The only thing that's probably worth pointing out is that the challenge reset glitch has been confirmed to be working on this week's Rebirth Jessica Cruz challenge. Oh, and I guess, did I mention? I must have. I'm sort of losing track now. So if you don't know if you don't really want to go back to watch January 5th, and it's probably not nearly as important as going to the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in top right corner for current glitches. That's linked in the eye and also in the description of this video. And that's it. So this is the part where we like to thank our patrons on Patreon, and that will be Michael DeVries, Irvin Ruiz, Hoshi127, and Drew Chapman, who are currently supporting us on the credited level. And we've got a whole long list of other supporters who have given us support during this pandemic, which is now almost completing its third year. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.